Welcome to Two Humans Talking, the podcast where we talk about what it actually takes to thrive in today's modern, fast-paced world. I'm Tiffany Simms, and today I am so excited to be bringing you Brittany Stout. Her and I have connected in other programs, and she is just one of these women who is here to on this earth to serve and to share and to guide, but not just from a place of telling you what you should be doing, but from that place of like she is leading by example. And so I'm just really excited to chat with you today to talk about our health and weight training and life stuff and growth things. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Tell us a little bit like where are you? Who are you? Where are you from? Where do you live? Like what makes you sparkle when you're not helping other women win?
Okay, so my name, Brittany Stout, as you already said, I am from Northeast Ohio, and it is actually a sunny day today that I can see the sun. I can never see the sun here, so it's getting my mood up there. And I'm a lot of things, but I am an online health and fitness coach and trainer for women. I'm a registered and licensed Ohio occupational therapist, ACSM certified personal trainer, women's coaching specialist. So basically what I do is I help women with their health and fitness, and specifically the women who come to me want to lose weight. So I help them. And the thing that really makes me sparkle is my doggy Cinch. So I don't care if you remember my name. If you tell me you're Cinch's mom, yes. Like
What
that makes
kind of dog is Cinch?
she is an Australian cattle dog.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And I love her so much that the business is actually called Fitness in a Cinch.
I love that play on words.
Right? Because I want to make fitness easy for women. But you know how they say business names need to be like what you do, but
Correct.
also part of your
Yes, the
life.
sign on the door needs to be clear.
But it also needs to like reflect you. Like Cinch is my baby. So that it was perfect. It came to me and I was like
I love that.
amazing. So she makes my heart sparkle every day.
That is so cute. And the fun thing that you don't know listening right now is that Cinch likes to talk. And so her mommy decided that she wanted to make sure that she was fully present for our conversation. So she took herself to the library. Talk about like adaptability, flexibility, resilience, figure it out and not make excuses, but like, what do I need to do to make things happen? Like, those are qualities that I admire in people. And so I was like, heck yes, like, let's go.
Yes, she's like a senior dog. So she is in this mood where she doesn't care anymore and she's going to let you know what she wants when she wants it. And she's not going to stop until you do exactly what she wants. So I was like, I'm coming to the library today.
We're working from the library. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Before we hop into like what we were going to talk about, what have you really learned from an aging dog and like especially as entrepreneurs, we work from home and business owners, a lot of us work from home. Like what have you learned from her in the season that she's in?
Um, have a hefty bank account. Um,
Fair.
a couple years ago, she had a CCL tear, so equivalent of a human ACL tear. And as an occupational therapist, I got her physical therapy after she was done. So
She did.
I had a home physical therapist come to my house to do fit therapy with her. And so that is one thing I learned. Have a hefty bank account for all the injuries or illnesses. Right now, we're going through another medical thing as well. So that's number one. And number two, like really enjoy the time because
Mm.
I realized last year or the year before, it was the year before, I realized there's going to be a time very soon where she can't come on vacation with us anymore. And our vacations are always like long hikes. So last year, or not last year, the year before, I noticed when we were like hiking mountains in Vermont, I was very nervous that she was going to tear her other knee and she was having to rest a little bit more often. Now she's an Australian cattle dog. She is bullheaded. She's still going to like pretty much, she will go until like I stop. She just wants to be by mommy. Um, and that kind of hurt me, realizing like we have to slow down a little bit on our vacations now. We can't go to the high mountains anymore. Maybe we do a flat trail, even though if we went to the high mountains, she would just be aching later. So it's learning
Yeah.
how to adapt the new life as the health stuff starts coming on, that aging process.
I really like I love that because like the things that were coming up for me as you were sharing, like when I think about Lexi. So I have like a little miniature, like a little chihuahua over here on the couch. She was a rescue dog and she came when Puerto Rico had those hurricanes. She was like one of the gazillion dogs that were rescued. And I've been noticing recently, like her eyes sockets are getting so gray and it makes me sad. And when we go on walks, like I have to slow down a little bit. And what I learned in that slowing down was to be present, more present than I was. So I'm pretty present, self-aware person, but it like brought a new layer. It made me aware of my own aches, pains, discomfort so that I would pay attention to her. It got me to to go on more frequent, shorter walks throughout the day than like a long walk in the morning and a long walk at night. And so it taught me to like be adaptable. And now I get out of the house a little 3 times a day instead of two. And so those little shorts, and I think that that is such a testament to like the type of women that we want to be. I'm on
Mhm.
a kick of like becoming the woman of my dreams.
Yes.
And I don't want to be the kind of person who, when something happens, that's like the end of the road. And I have all these reasons for why I can't do anything anymore. And so, like, when the seasons change, I can still do the same things. They just might look a little different to accommodate whatever the barriers might be to make it accessible, but not like I don't want to be that person who just like, whoa, can't take the dog for a walk because she can't go as far anymore. Well, no, she
Yeah.
deserves to go outside too. I need to figure out how to make this in a way that works for both of us. And
Yes.
so,
Yes. And my favorite thing now, since she has to slow down a little more, and she's always been a reactive dog. We used to be able to take her to the dog park. Ever since COVID, we cannot do that anymore. She sees it, she smells a dog, she starts barking. So, any dog trainers out there, please help me. I've tried. um, but sh we love during the late spring, summer, early fall, sitting out in the backyard and playing with her and her just like sunbathing. And that I get so much joy watching her just laying there in the sun, enjoying life. And it's so fun that we're talking about this because as the times change, right? What we're talking about this morning, I was doing a meditation, and as it said, like, think of the gratitude, she literally stood on my chest and starts licking my face. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is pure gratitude right here, right now. And like, I literally soaked it all up. And, meditation, you're like, leave me alone. Like, I need to be like in my, by myself
don't
right
touch,
now.
don't wiggle, don't move.
Yes, yes. And then she just came and she comes into the meditations literally at like the perfect time, because there was another one that was like, now put your hand in the water. And she literally touched her cold, wet nose to my hand. And I was like, and I have earphones on, so it's not like she can hear it's
But
not
they
like she knows what
know.
it's saying, but she touched my hand and it like cracked me up because I'm like, oh, literally
She
touching.
knew.
Yeah, and us me touching the water was supposed to be like the abundance of life and love and everything. And I was like,
My heart is exploding. The timing, they have the perfect timing.
the
And
perfect.
like, I want to talk to our bestie that's listening right now who's like, where is this tangent going? I'm about to tap out. I want to tie it back in for you because the lesson is still there. Brittany was sharing with us that, her company is like in a cinch, fitness in a cinch. And that's exactly what all of this comes back to because it's so often when it comes to our health, I don't have time for that. When things calm down, and it's not about these perfect moments of like all the barriers being removed. It's about thinking and seeing what's in front of you and what can I do with what I have to make this work for me. And I love that our dogs in this are like the perfect example of us both learning how to adapt with what we have to still get where we're going.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's what when I first start working with clients, they tell me I don't have time for this. I can only dedicate like 2 days working out per week. And the first lady I took through my program, she was a busy mom of 3 boys, worked pretty much from like 8 to 5:30, then had to shuffle her kids to soccer practice afterwards. And then she would have work to do on the farm. And so time she did not have. She didn't have the time to pack a gym bag, go to the gym, work out, come home, because her life was so busy. And I get, like, we are all busy. And there are times that if we just slow down and look at the pockets of time that we do have, then we can actually prioritize that time and without having to like interrupt our lives. Because I know a lot of the women that come and talk to me, they're like, I don't have 5 to 6 days a week to work out. And you don't need 5 to 6 days, 2 hour long workouts to work out and get results. And so you're right, it's there.
Or if you're going through a breakup and it's
Yeah,
messy, maybe you have 2 hours because like you are trying to save yourself from yourself and get some energy out, move some
yeah,
energy, right?
yeah.
But like if that is not the season that you're in and things are a little peaceful but hectic, yeah, you don't need 2 hour workout sessions.
No. And it just depends what season of life that you are in, because right now it is February. It's going to look different than what November, December looks like, right? Looks different than what summer looks
August.
like. Yeah, August, kids going back to school. And so I really like to hone in on like coming up with some non-negotiables that make you feel healthy and fit, that make you feel like you're still staying on track and not just, well, I only have one day. That's worthless. Shouldn't do anything. Like that one day can be a gold mine if you only have one day in the books right now, because it's going to keep that momentum going. So when you do have a little bit more time in a different season, then it's going to be easier to pick up an extra day or find
Yes.
pockets here or there.
I used to be that person who was just like, well, what's the point? And when I look back now, the lesson that I wish I could have shared with my younger self, um, is like going back to like, well, why are you doing this? Why
Mhm.
is it here? Why is that important to you? Because when something's a part of, I found that like, whether it's in my health or in my business, that when it's aligned with the person that I want to be, then it's not this like all or nothing, or I have to sacrifice and I don't have time. It's if that's the person I want to be because of X, Y, and Z, well, then what are the things that I have to do today to be the person I say I want to be? Which was a completely different energy than than the girl who just wanted to lose weight because she wanted like to be able to wear that outfit and wanted people to look at her and she wanted to get a boyfriend and like she wanted to people to not notice her body before they met her. Like you can't like I just was there. So of course it made sense. Like my words aren't even coming out. But like of course it made sense that my philosophy was, well, I don't have enough time, so what's the point? Because it
Mhm.
wasn't about me at all. It was about
Mhm.
me being worthy of other people, of what I thought I should be, rather than who I truly saw myself being. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, yes. And actually one of the so I just started a new group with my program, and it's so exciting that we're talking about this, because this first week is talking about the vision that you have for yourself. Like, why are you here? What do you actually want out of this? And then how can we create goals to get you there?
Amen.
And then how can we create small habits that are going to get you there? And so, because our goals, I break down the long-term and short-term goals, and you have your long-term goal, right? That's going to help you get to that vision. But then you have these short-term goals, and the short-term goals are these behavior-based goals, meaning your daily or weekly actions that you're going to take to get there. And so one of the first habits that a lot of my clients start out with is their water. Because nobody talks about when you want to lose weight, drink water. No, it's eat less, exercise more. But water is so powerful. When you drink enough, you can minimize your food cravings. You're hydrating your body. Your brain is actually functioning better when you are hydrated versus when you're dehydrated. So water is an amazing thing. And one of my clients, when she went on vacation, I was like, she's like, I want to still stay on track. And I'm going to have fun this weekend. The one thing I'm going to do though is drink my water because I've been consistent. It makes me feel good. And I'm not going to let this one go. And, this tiniest little thing, it kept her going for the whole 12 weeks because it was so simple and it aligned with who she wanted to be. And she knew it was going to get her to her goals as we're both drinking ours.
Yes, which is something I've started reprioritizing. I had noticed that I had like it happens slowly, like, right, where you don't recognize you're not drinking the water that you once were, but then all of a sudden, like for me, it was like I've been getting a lot of headaches. And so like I was like trying, I'm real big on being the scientist of my own life. And I was like, oh, like you haven't had anything to drink today. Like, oh, I got out of practice, right? Got out of the habit of drinking my water. And so it was just this awareness of like, oh yeah, where did my water bottle go? And the reason I got out of the habit was because I was traveling a lot and this cup was heavy and it never dawned like, and so I hadn't like replaced it with something that was more travel friendly. And then I just got out of the habit. But then as soon as I brought attention in the beginning, it felt like a lot of water. And now like I'm drinking 3 times the amount, but it was just because I brought intention back to it because I was paying attention to what was off in my body and going, oh yeah, like I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, these little things that you knew that made you feel good, but you got out of the rhythm. And then when you realized it, you brought it back. And at first your body's like, what is this? And now it's
It
like,
almost wants to resist it. It's like, wait, 100 you want 180 ounces today? Like that seems like a lot. Can we just start with like maybe a glass and like one and a half of these? See how that settles? And now it's like one's gone again in the morning before I've even like finished my workout because my body's tolerance is like back up to knowing how to use the water too.
yes, yes. And like your body, when you get in tune with your body, you can tell, and this is what I teach my clients, like you can tell what your body needs. And it's fascinating because you can be sitting there and you're like, oh, I have a headache, I need water. Or I can tell you, like, if I'm sitting there, I can be like, huh, I'm having like cravings for chips. And then I look at the time and I'm like, oh, because it's time for me to eat again. Like,
Yes. My body's low on energy. It would like carbs and it knows that those are all tasty and will give me a quick boost in energy. But I could go eat a sandwich and have sustainable energy and keep myself out of the drive-through on my way home. Like, and feel good about myself.
yes, yes. And you know what? I just have to share this with you. Because like health and fitness coach, everybody thinks I'm like epitome of health. No, like I eat fast food too at times, right? But back in like 2018, I went through a really tough time, and I actually like went to the doctors. They told me basically they can't help me. Just you're gonna get worse. Deal with it. And you going to the doctors and you're not getting answers. It just, I'm like, I'm just gonna go stress eat. That's what I'm gonna do. And because I was lost, I felt alone and all of this. And I coped through food because I couldn't find anybody who like could help me. And all I needed was that one person who knew what to do, but I couldn't find them. And so I actually had an hour commute to work. And right next to the entrance ramp to the highway was a gas station, but it's like a fast food gas station. And I got milkshake and fries 1 to 2 times a week. And
Okay, we are like spirit animals. My story is very similar. I love this. But it's true. It's true. So before I do what I do now, I was also in the health and wellness weight loss field for like 10 years. And back in the day, like I had learned how at a young age, through no one's fault. People like to be like, oh, where were your parents? It was through no one's fault. It was just how it worked. Like I had learned at a young age that I could regulate my nervous system with food. Did I know that that's what I was doing? No. But now looking back with the knowledge that I have, that's exactly what was happening. And I can still, like me talking to you about biting into a peppermint patty, I can feel my shoulders drop and my chest relax, like my body settle in. And I used to be so upset with myself because it was like I had a binge eating disorder. I could not control myself around food. I can remember sobbing while stuffing my face, begging myself to stop, and I couldn't until it was gone. And it was just my body's way of regulating itself when it didn't have control. And so I had an hour and a half commute to Baltimore. And I some mornings would stop at the McDonald's. I would have breakfast and I would stop at the McDonald's about 45 minutes from my house because I would like get a little tired. And so I
Mhm.
would stop at McDonald's to get something to occupy myself. And then about 20 minutes before I would get to work, my eyes would get really heavy again and I would like have to keep waking. So I would stop at Wawa and I would get another snack, usually like chocolate milk and something. And then by the time I would get to work, I will have eaten three breakfasts, right?
Yeah.
And it those are the types of things. And there was nothing wrong with that, but like what I where Brittany and I were going with all of it was just like that awareness, like of not beating yourself up, not being mad at yourself for how could you do this again? What is wrong with you? But for just like loving yourself as a person and saying like, who do I want to be today? And like, what's something I could do to help be her?
Yeah. And what got me through that time was realizing that I was stopping there. One, it was convenient. Two, I was eating off my emotions. I was very stressed at that point in my life. Um, Three, it was like 5 o'clock. It was my dinner time. And as you said, you had an hour and a half drive home. What do you do for an hour drive? You want to occupy your time.
Yes,
So
you're bored as heck. Like
yes, yes,
eating is occupancy, it's entertainment.
yes. And so what I ended up doing, I was like, okay, clearly I got in tune with myself. It's 5 o'clock. I know I need to eat my dinner. But if I pack chicken and rice, I'm not going to eat that. I need something that's going to be flavorful for my taste buds. And so I ended up packing um, these sandwiches since they had protein in them, and then fruit since it was going to hit my salty sweetness, right? My salty and sweet that I wanted. So when I did want to just drive and cry myself home, I was actually fueling my body without having to feel super tired later, 45 minutes into my drive, because now my blood sugar is just like tanking and it's not sustainable energy, right? And that food actually kept me feeling satisfied, boosted my mood because it made me feel great because it wasn't sugar
Right. And
filled.
you don't feel like crap about yourself because you were taking care of yourself. Like,
Yes, yes. And that was a huge, very small shift, right? But huge in the steps to get me to my goal.
yeah, I love this conversation so much. It really does.
Yes. I love that we are both.
There is a giant, might be an eagle that just like swooped in front of my window and landed in the tree. And sorry, it caught me off guard. Because I was like, what is that? And it was a giant eagle that just like swooped in and like landed in the tree. Anyway, hi.
I love that. I love that.
It's hungry, must be dinner time. Oh, like I love this conversation. I think there's so much shame around our health journeys about
Mhm,
what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, how
mhm.
it's supposed to look versus like
Yes.
what I can actually like make feel natural in my own life in this stage, starting where I'm starting.
Mhm,
And I just love that you and I both had so like such real stories about like where like I've been in this season where it was like fast food because I was trying to feed an emotion or trying to keep myself occupied or because I didn't have the tools. And if someone could have helped me simplify what that looked like, so I had an example of like how I could simplify this, that would have been really helpful.
yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm here to help my clients with, help my women with in life, because I want to make it simple, easy, right? The cinch for them, because it doesn't need to be as hard as the world makes it seem. It's not all about just cut out what you're eating and then exercise more until, and it's a miserable process until you get your results. and you want to enjoy it, because the truth is, if you don't enjoy it, then the moment you do hit your goal, if you hit your goal, and the moment you hit your goal, you're like, oh, I can stop now. Oh, I can be done. And then you just get frustrated when the results don't stick, because then you like let go of everything that you built up to. And so it's really what I help women with is just that lifestyle change and making it easy fit their life, so that I said earlier, like they can do it throughout any season of their life.
Yes. And releasing yourself, like I like this phrase. It's like how you lose weight is how you maintain the weight loss. And so if you're
Yeah.
doing things that like it's why your diet doesn't stick. It's not because you're broken or there's something wrong with you. It's that you're following a plan that was not designed for you because it's not something that you want to do long term. And so like you got to do things in a way that you can sustain. Otherwise, the results were only temporary because they were never yours to keep.
Yes, yes, I love that. Yes. And that's the only way you're going to keep them, is when they align with who you are, and you align your habits with who you are, who you want to become. It all goes back to that.
Yes.
And doing it for you and nobody else.
Yes. And I've gone through the seasons around this and of like, oh, we're doing it because of someone, right? Else, right? And then it's like, no, I got to do it because of me. But I think that where I land right now, I think it can be a combination of both. I think you have to be in there, but I don't think that and sometimes wanting to do it for your kids or to be here
Yeah.
to take care of your parents. Like sometimes we need a catalyst in
Yes.
order to learn how to make it about us.
Yes. And like you said about the kids, there's still, the kids are part of you, right? So deep down, even if you don't feel it or realize it yet, there is something there that's on the inside. Like, you love your kids, right? You want to be there for them. You want to be a better mom, that you can play with your kids and have the energy for that, right? So you want it to be about your kids, but inside, like if you listen to all of that, my one client told me, I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to jump on the trampoline with my kids. So what I'm hearing is, I don't want to be that mom on the sidelines. And so, yes, it's for her kids too. But if you hear deep down, like that
It's
was
about
for
her
her,
experience with her kids.
her
It's
experience
about
with
her.
kids, making memories. Yeah. Yeah. So there's definitely external factors for sure. But then you have to have that emotion attached to it, because if you don't have that emotion, you're not going to see the reason why.
I love that. There's so much truth in um people don't actually care how much they weigh. There is the reason that we get so tied up in like a weight and a size is because there's a life that we feel that we don't have access to in our current bodies. And if we were that size, that weight, able to run like that or get up and down off the floor like that, then we would be able to experience this life we feel like we're missing out on. And
Mhm.
like, so I think that like thinking about that has helped me a lot too. It's like, what do I think that thing is gonna get me if I achieve it? Because if I'm not clear on that, then my habits and the way I go about it aren't gonna stick.
Yes. Yeah, that's huge. And so, as an occupational therapist, my thing is to get you independent, right? Like, our motto is living life to the fullest. And, when I was going through my medical stuff, as you said, getting up and down off the ground, I couldn't even do that without having medical issues happening. Like, I could not. Okay. And so, me being personal trainer, occupational therapist, who literally helps you strengthen your muscles, who helps you be more independent in your life, who helps you live life to the fullest. And now I'm like declining. I It just brought so much emotion out of me. Like, because here I I'm helping my clients get up and down off the ground, but I can't even do this. And so that was like a big part for me, is like, I needed to find that one person who could help me, that would really help me build that confidence to show me how to get up off the ground, right? And so that way I can start helping my clients better, because I felt like, since I was declining, I wasn't able to help them, because I wasn't able to help myself. And like, how you can't pour from an empty cup. My cup was just like completely empty. And here I'm trying to run around and it's just causing more stress and more issues on myself. And, you know, I wanted to feel good again so that I could be there better for my clients and help them more. And so, oh, I'm about to cry. It's and so yeah, there's that internal factors, there's those external factors, and just having those emotions attached to it and knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it's really going to make a difference in your life.
Yeah. I love that your emotions came up for you. And I felt after I said it, like I was like, I love that. You're like, I'm crying. I'm like, I love that. And I was like, that probably sounds really strange to someone. Like, what is wrong with her? But like, I love when our soul shows up for the conversation. Like, there's a piece of us that is just like feels seen and heard and at the surface and is just like sometimes it's raw and sometimes it's vulnerable and sometimes it just feels so loved that like that's what I imagine every time I have those big feelings. And it means that we're tapping into something deep and real. And if we're not
Yeah.
tapping in, then why? And so I like, if it sounded weird, I don't apologize, but it's just where it was coming from. That's why I was like, oh, I love that for you. Because it was just real, so real. And for the woman that is listening and you're still here with us, hanging out right now in this moment, I really want you to hear what's happening because this is two women talking about the real stuff that they have gone through and that they have experienced and that they're learning and how they're applying it and how we can share that with other people and that the people that you're looking up to for the answers don't like. I think that there is this, maybe this is a me thing right now, but there's like this fear when you are leading from the front that people are going to see you struggle and see that you don't have it all together in their eyes. And I think that that is such a missed opportunity as society that we think that an expert means that all of a sudden everything is sunshine and rainbows. But an expert and a true guide is literally living it in their day and is experiencing similar things. And they just have the roadmap that helps them get back to their source every single time, come back to the drawing board, come back to what was I here for? How do I move through this? The wind blew and it caught me off guard. How do I get back to where I'm going? And so, like, I really, really hope you heard that through this conversation that you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are on the right path. And sometimes we need guides outside of ourselves to highlight the path for us to take the next step forward. And trusting that because they know what you're going through, that they really can guide you. And so I don't know where that came from, but it just like came out of me and I needed to share it.
But you know what comes up with me for me when you say that is that the one thing that helped me so much was finding people, one, an expert who knew what I was struggling with, could help me. And that was the first, like when I found that physical therapist who could help me, game changer. And then that community, having that support, one, that PT helped me so much. And then finding a community of people who actually understood what my struggles were because they had similar struggles and they were trying to get to similar goals that I was. Because then I didn't feel alone. You know, I could tell my boyfriend, oh, this is happening. Now I have this going on. And he just doesn't get it because he doesn't have those problems. Right. Or I can tell my friend who doesn't have those problems. So she's busy with her life and just doesn't get that. But then when you plug into these communities, and a lot of times they're hard. And so that's why I love the internet. I love how like we met. You have those online communities that they get it. And you can come in, you can drop a struggle or a win, and everybody, no matter where they are, or they're going to cheer you on. You're going to be seen and heard. And I just have to say, so like someone's listening out there that you feel alone, you need somebody, like find somebody to support you, find a community somewhere.
Yes. And uh, okay, if we're going to give life advice, I want to share this one because I think it is so, so important.
Yes, please do.
It is not just about finding someone that will like hear you. And it's not about finding someone who's always going to be like your bruiser, right? You can't have only a cheerleader and who's always going to enable you and always accommodate your excuses, but you can't have someone who makes you feel like crap all the time either. Like, but finding spaces where like you can be seen in the hard while being encouraged to
Mhm.
move through to your destination. Because I think that one of the reason I don't like gym buddies, this is such a personal pet peeve. I love a community like the one that you've created. I do not like going to the gym with people because you're like, oh, let's do it together. And then it's like, hey, can we move it? I have this meeting. And you're like, okay, let me try to like rearrange my schedule to accommodate you. And then 8 o'clock comes around when you were gonna meet them because you were accommodating. And they're like, I'm just not feeling it today. And it's like, I could have gotten myself taken care of hours ago. But so, and then it's like the next day, and then they enable you to skip a day. And so,
Mhm.
like, there's a difference between finding someone who's supportive, enabling, and
Mhm.
like supportive, here are the containers of what you said you wanted. Let's go.
Yes, yes. And I found
I
when
think there was a piece of my soul in there that was like, wait a second, I have something to say. Like a past Tiffany was like, wait,
yes,
we have an opinion.
and it's so true because you know I feel like everybody's had those that accountability buddy who's really like a self-sabotage or
Yeah,
sabotage.
they just want someone to excuse their own behavior. I don't have time for that.
Yes, yes. And so this is why I love the online communities I've been part of. Will a small part of us, a few of us will make, a small we'll break out from the group, have like 4 or 5 of us in a DM, and then we're messaging each other. And so now I don't have to wait on them to go to the gym because I can do it any point. And now I just hit done with my workout,
Yeah.
and if and in the group, you're always going to have the different types of people, the ones who's like didn't get it done, or the people that are cheering, just like you said, right? And then you'll have the people who are harder on you. And so having that big dynamic is so fun because you can see everybody's personality and it sees you see other people showing up. And
Yes. Which will
then
motivate your butt because you're like, I don't want to be the lowest man on this totem pole.
yes,
I don't want to be the
yes,
one dragging everyone down. Like if
yes,
they're doing it and I know what they're handling today, like get it together. What do we need to figure out over here?
yes, yes. And so I've been like diving into these communities and actually like being vocal. My tendency is to like go into places and kind of sit back, observe. That is what I tend to do. But now I'm like, that hasn't gotten me anywhere. And so I've noticed when I like sit in the front row, raise my hand, make connections, initiate things, then that's where I'm seeing the most progress whenever in any area of my life. And I do this with fitness. I'm in a very busy season of my life right now. So I am not programming my own programs. I have another trainer programming mine because I just give me what I need to do and I'll do it. But I know myself well enough that I if I don't tell somebody I'm doing it, then and I don't connect with somebody who's also doing like the same program, then I might slack, right? Or I might be like, I don't have to go as heavy today. But if my buddy's next to me and they're like, ooh, I got more weight than you, or you know what I mean? Or like, I showed up, where were you? I'm going to show up.
Like the internal check of like, am I being the person I said I wanted to be?
Yes,
Not
yes.
not for ego's sake, but
Mhm.
for the integrity with myself.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
Thanks, Sue.
look at that. They liked it. Sue
Oh
liked
my
that.
God,
Yeah.
these conversations light my soul on fire because they're so real, they're so raw. It's the conversations that like the internet says, like, I want to see behind the scenes. Let me see don't just show me perfect. I broke my computer. Um, don't just show me the highlight reel, right? This is the real life reel. This is,
Yeah.
if you want to know what success looks like, it is going through the struggle just like this with the support, with the accountabilities, with the bumper rails up. You still have to move the ball. It doesn't just
Yes.
magically get from the stand to the pins, right? Even when the bumpers are up, like you still have to put effort in. And so, like, I love these conversations so much because they're bringing that, like, let's just talk about it. And how we overcome that to people. Brittany, how do we connect with you outside of the show?
Yes. So, on Instagram, I am My handle, my username is I am Brittany Stout. So at I am Brittany Stout. Ttany. Everybody spells it wrong. And stout, like the little teapot. So I am Brittany Stout. And yes, a little teapot there. So that is where I hang out. Cinchy girl normally makes an appearance in the stories. So if you want to see an amazing 14-year-old Australian cattle dog, please come share. She's always walking with a toy in her mouth.
Mm,
Yes, so that is the best place.
oh, so much fun. I
Yes.
know you hear me say this at the end of every conversation. Go be a human with other humans in this world. We were not meant to stalk people. We were not meant to be isolated. We were not meant to pretend we have connections with other people that we've never actually interacted with. Like, we are literally meant to connect and grow and thrive together. So, like, if today spoke to you, go message her. Say, I really enjoyed the podcast episode. Like, and just start a conversation. Remember how to make friends. Like, it's gonna be okay. Um, this is so, so, so good. Brittany, as we are wrapping up today, is there anything that's left on your heart that you wanted to share that maybe we didn't talk about?
You know what? I just really want to emphasize that in this journey, a health and fitness journey, no matter what kind of journey, if you are, you know, getting into maybe local like races, or you are just wanting to build strength, start going to the gym, or even working out from home, or downloading a program and you're starting from the beginning, or you just feel alone in this journey, like your health and fitness journey, you don't need to struggle and feel alone and like everybody's making progress and you're that lone star just hanging out, just watching everybody else succeed. And so I really just want to stress the importance of find a community, because I know, once you become an adult, you probably had this experience, Tiffany. Once you become an adult, you get your big girl job, your friends move away, and now you're scattered all over the world. And now I'm like a 30-year-old and your best friend's a dog. Nothing wrong with that. But I need some friends in my life too. I just can't look at my dog every day and say, let's go find your piggy and go look for her treat. I need a community. So I just really want to stress the emphasis. Like if you are somebody who does not feel plugged into to a community, especially a health and fitness community, get plugged into one. That is what I would say. Just that community is key when it comes to your health and fitness, especially if you don't have that support in your physical life, go find it.
So, so, so good. Brittany, thank you so much for being here. And that was Two Humans Talking. I will see you next time. Bye.